Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, Delaware Camera is your #1 spot for all your camera needs, education, accessories, printing, and more. Located at 2635 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. Visit cameraspot.com.
Hey, true believers, this is Mark at Delaware Camera in our upstairs lounge. I'm upstairs amongst our lighting, tripods, rentable studio, etc., stuff like that. Welcome to our latest True Believers Instagram/YouTube Live. For those of you who are on Instagram, I think it's a much better experience on YouTube. So if you want to click over there, click the link in the bio. We have a link to our YouTube page. Go there. But those of you who love Instagram, we're here too. We're here for you. So let's get to our regular housekeeping stuff as we always do. Tell you about what we do here, process film, rentals, we sell cameras, accessories, everything. Got a rentable studio. What else we got? Well, we process film, as I said before. Good customer service. We sell digital cameras. We sell point-and-shoot cameras. We got used cameras. If you want to trade in your camera, old stuff, we do that too. If you're trying to get rid of some of your old stuff and you don't want to meet strange people in strange places, we do that here. Online printing, yeah, if you go to our website, you can order prints right online, have them not emailed to you, have them mailed to you, or you can pick them up in the store with no waiting. So we send you an email when your order's done, so you don't have to come in here and not know that your order's done. We have it ready for you. You get the email and you know it's ready to go. Another thing we have is classes, which I mentioned before. We have some upcoming classes. Tonight we have kind of a double feature of classes in a way. So we have a Nikon menu class, which Nikon is presenting. Nikon, what are we talking about here? we have a special class, or Nikon. So if you like the Z9, if you have a Z9 or you're interested in the Z9, we have a class talking about the menus. I know they're hard to get. We've only got a couple in so far. If you want to learn more about the camera before you get it, or if you have it already, you can go there, and Nikon's presenting. I think the guy's name is Paul Van Allen. He is doing the class. We also have our second regular class, which is our composition class. So that's tonight. You sign up for it on our website. Go to our website. Go to our website. There's a button for classes there. It takes you to our Eventbrite page, and you can see all the classes. We have another couple classes coming up that Tamron's presenting. We have our travel photography class, which is in a few weeks. The date is on our Eventbrite page, and then next month we have our Capture Hack Experimental Photography class. Capture Hack Experimental Photography class that Tamron is also presenting, so we have that as well. We're working on some other stuff, some events. We've been talking about doing kind of like a swap meet in our parking lot, but we have a lot of cool stuff that we're working on coming up now that stuff is opening back up. And I want you to come in the store and enjoy all the cool stuff we have to offer. So today's topic is Q&A. It's not really a topic, but we went on our Instagram and we posted Ask Delaware Camera a question, and we will answer it live on our live on our True Believers Live. Edit that out. You can't edit that out, so whatever. So we're going to answer the questions live, and we actually offered people who answered the questions, who asked us a question, $10. So if we answer your question live on air, you're entitled to a $10 gift card at the store. So some people took advantage of that. Some of our ex-employees also took advantage of that. Well, they're not getting it because they're ex-employees, so they get enough good treatment from us. So they won't be getting that $10, but the people who were answering the questions, they're going to get a $10 gift card to the store. So we appreciate them participating in our little social experiment. Oh, one last thing. If you look at our Instagram, I went to Jeff Barnes Photography. He's got in the Eastern Hills Mall. He's got a studio and he sells prints out of there. I did a little tour of the store, which is pretty cool. If you like Buffalo photos, go in there. He's got plenty of great stuff in there. He has a studio, he does weddings, all that good stuff. So check that out if you have the opportunity to. It's a great little place in East St. Louis Mall. So on to our topic today, our Q&A, our Delaware Camera Q&A. So we're gonna answer some questions that people asked us online on our Instagram page. We did an Instagram story with that. So the first question is from former employee Benjamin Searle, who asked us a question. Do you guys sell and process slide film? The answer is, we do. So if you have E6 slide film, you bring it in here. We do 35mm 120. We don't do it right on the premises. We have to send it to our lab in Pennsylvania, and they process it there. It takes 10 to 14 days usually. We'll get it back here for you. We also offer the scanning of that as well. So we'll scan it, email it to you, put it on a thumb drive for you, whatever you need to get it. We can even make pictures of slides as well if you want that as well. So we do offer that. So if you want to have slide film done and you're into that, you're newly back in photography or new into photography, we do slides as well. So thank you, Ben, for that question. We appreciate it. Our next question is, who's the guy upstairs? I can answer that a few different ways. But in our store, the guy upstairs is Bill, who handles he does our online stuff. So we have like an online presence, which he administrates. So he does all that stuff, does a lot of our ordering. He does a lot of our used camera testing and troubleshooting. He handles a lot of that kind of behind the scenes stuff, which, keeps us flowing properly. So if you have a used item that you bring in to sell, Bill most likely will go through it and test it and make sure it works before we put it out on our used shelf. Because everything on our used shelf is tested, so you can be rest assured that anything on our used shelf works properly unless there's a note on it or something which says there might be an issue with it. But we price accordingly, so if you're looking for used stuff, we got it. Bill tests it, so feel rest assured that the used stuff that you buy from us is tested and working. Now we have our first question by an actual fan or follower of our store. Memories by Nora asked us a question. She asked us, what is the best Sony A7 III lenses? What are the best Sony A7 III lenses for wedding photography? And I don't shoot with a Sony, but wedding photography, you can shoot with any camera, Nikon, Fuji, Canon, whatever you have. But what, Will? But in my mind, since I'm a wedding photographer, I have a setup that I bring to weddings, and the best lenses for weddings are. Am I on this camera? Okay. The best set of lenses for weddings. You want your wide angle. You want your 16-35, 2.8 if you can, or f4 lens. You want your mid-range zoom, your 24-70, 2.8, 28-75, 2.8. You want your 70-200, or in Tamron's case, 70-180, 2.8. You want everything to be 2.8 if you can. But if you can't, the way cameras handle low light now, you can do pretty well with stuff that's not quite f2.8. With me as well, I'll bring a 35-1.4. I use that for details before weddings as well. I use that for available light shooting at receptions and like table settings and stuff like that. I'll also use that for some portrait weddings as well. Other lenses you can bring, macro for ring shots and small details like the favors and little ring shots, things like that. You want to use your macro lens for that type of thing. Some people use the adapters as well, which work pretty well as well, because I know a lot of people just use the macro lenses for ring shots, and that might not be something you want to invest in because $700 for a lens you use like for one thing at a wedding. But I have one, and I think it's worth it to give the best possible quality at a wedding. So what did we say? We said the 24-70, 70-200, the wide angle. Well, let's go back, take a couple steps back. The wide angle is good for like wedding dance floor shots, stuff like that. getting the whole scene at a church, you want that for that. 24-70 is good for mostly everything. So group shots, some portraiture, stuff like that. 70-200 is good for like trying to get that compressed background in the church or out, if it's outside as well. Portraits of the couple, always good to have that, that long 2.8 look for that type of thing. So I hope I answered your question as far as good lenses for weddings. But I'm assuming, since your name is Memories by Nora, that you kind of know this stuff already, but I appreciate the question. But hopefully we were able to help any other people who were asking as well. So our next question is CJK019 asked, are you guys expecting Fuji slide film? Now that's a tough question to answer. So most films right now are hard to get. We get what we can in, and as soon as we get it, it seems to fly right out of here. So it's hard to say. I know there's some Fuji 120 films, like I read on Petapixel, that they're going to be really hard to get, Fuji 120 slide films. They're going to be really hard to get, but it's hard to say. I mean, I know people read the news websites and stuff, and that's pretty much where our information comes from as well. But there's a variety of film. I know like people love the Fuji look and stuff, but there's a lot of other films you can try as well, which we have in stock. So if anything, the back order situation helps. It's trying different films, which I suggest people do, because I think if people are waiting for certain things to come in, you're gonna be waiting a very long time. But check with us, message us on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll try to answer your questions. You can call us too. So if you're looking to see what we have in stock, feel free to contact us in those ways, because we are we try to be very responsive to questions online and stuff like that. You can also text us as well. I don't know if people know that. You can text us questions. There's a button on our website where you can text us and send us a text to get a question answered as well, which is a cool new innovation that we have. So I'm into that. All right, thank you, CJK019, for the question. Our next question by Emily Torgal. She asked what the staff's favorite cameras are, digital or film. Well, my favorite camera is right here. It's my Canon R6, which I love. I mean, we're gonna talk about this one day on this, but I think mirrorless cameras are definitely a game changer, and they made it so I bought a new camera for the first time in like 15 years. Like I would always buy new stuff, but I'm like, the mirrorless is real, it's the truth, and I bought it. So R6, any mirrorless you can get your hands on, there's a Canon R6, R5, R3, Nikon. We have a Nikon Z series, Sony A7 III, the 4 is out too, we got one of those in stock. Fuji X series, so all that stuff is good. I actually polled our employees and asked them what their favorite cameras were, since we can't have everyone on camera and everyone's busy downstairs in the store. So I asked Curtis what his favorite camera was, and he said the Sony A7 III, and for film was the Nikon FG20. Nikon, fine one. Joe, who's our printer, D750 and D500. He is a sports shooter, so the D500 is like his weapon of choice for doing all of his like high school sports, pro sports shooting and stuff like that. Kenny, our newest employee, who's working today, I asked him what his favorites were. He said the Fuji X-T4, which is this. Yeah. And his favorite film was the Pentax 6.7. I think that's a medium format camera. I'm not super familiar with those, but that's his favorite film camera. Eric Jensen chimed in. I texted him. He gave me an answer. He said the Nikon F3 is his favorite camera. That's an old film camera for those of you who don't know. So as far as the people I was able to get an answer from, those are their favorite cameras. And if you're watching this, tell us your favorite camera, because interaction's always good and fun, so we appreciate that as well. So, so that's people's favorite cameras, digital or film. We answered that question. So hopefully that is inspiring to some people. I want everyone to have an arsenal, because I don't need kids but anyway. All right. So our last question came from former employee Vicente Rondon. So he sent me a question. He just texted me just now. And he had a couple of questions. Even though he used to work at the store, he still had some questions that he thought were relevant to people's interest in our store. So he asked if we push or pull film. That's yes and no. For color film, we cannot push and pull color film. With black and white film, we can do that because it's done much smaller batches, so we can individually do that and change developing times on that. Our color processing machine doesn't really allow us to push and pull them, so we cannot do that, unfortunately. So we are sorry about that. His other question was, is there a space for scanning your own negatives? And we do offer the service of doing that, but we don't have a space for people to do that. We have a scanner that we use in the store, and I actually want to talk about this because we're working on a way to get better and more efficient at this. I don't know if people have ever scanned stuff on a flatbed, but it gives you good quality, but it's kind of tough because you have to scan and then you have to dust because there's literally dust everywhere. So it's a lot of work scanning film. So you do a high-res scan, it takes a while to scan the film, and then you have to go in and make sure there's no dust in the film. So nice. Thanks, Bridget. All right, so back to scanning your own negatives. So yeah, so it's a kind of a long process, which is why it costs a bit more than regular scanning. So you have to scan, then dust, and then make sure everything looks good. Color correct. There's a slew of processes that go into doing that. We're actually working on a way to get that process done faster. So we should hopefully have a more efficient method coming to you soon, which we're working on right now. So I appreciate that question, Vicente, and we appreciate you as always. If you guys know Vicente, he used to teach our classes, and everyone knows Vicente, right? So we appreciate him, even though he's not getting it right in camera. So anyway, we've got no more questions. Have you got any questions? Will, what's your favorite camera of all time? Producer Will. The Samsung NX1. Yeah, I remember we used to have that, and they had to sell it because they stopped making it. Yeah, so we actually have a Samsung. I don't know if we still have it in the store or we just took a trade-in on one. So if someone's looking for Samsung, go to our Instagram page. There's a post I think Bill just did on that, so you can see there's a whole Samsung setup. So if you follow Will, and that's the best thing ever. Which it's good, but it's kind of tough when stuff isn't supported anymore. You can't really expand your horizons with a system. But we do have one for sale. So if that's your system, we do have that. So that's Will's favorite camera, even though Will has graduated to the super big leagues. So yeah, I think that's it. If you like this, we appreciate you coming back every Tuesday. You got no question? Come back every Tuesday to see us every Tuesday at noon. True Believers Tech Talks every Tuesday. We're on every Tuesday, as I just said before, because I'm fumbling over words. Like and subscribe if you like this, and we're going to keep it going because I feel this was great. We're working on some other stuff too with me and Steven, who's downstairs. We're talking. We're going to do maybe some on location stuff. So stuff that's kind of related to. I went to Jeff Barnes' studio yesterday. Maybe show people like things that are related to photography and what we have going on locally in Buffalo, which I think is cool. So keep on the lookout for this and more cool stuff. If you guys tuned in on Sunday, you saw Will trying to balance an FX6 on a Zhiyun Weeble 2. gimbal. So check that out. It was a failure because this FX6 is a little too heavy for that. So anyway, we'll see you on the next one, next Tuesday live at noon. We'll see you, and thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you thought this was cool. Thanks. See ya.